Tonight on Camilla and I, we have Alan Forder here, and it's a very exciting night tonight because we've got badgers from the New Forest. And again, it's a secret location again, isn't it? Which we're not disclosing.
You can if you want.
You can if you like, because it's Alan's back garden. But he's here, so you won't get past him anyway. No. But yeah, what was that? Something squeaked. So we're here tonight to photograph these pet badgers. No, not
they're
pet
totally
badgers.
wild.
They're totally wild badgers, but they have been fed. They've been
regularly fed for about 18 months now.
18 months.
So they come in every night.
So they're here every night. Okay.
Yeah, except for tonight.
Except for tonight. Yeah, good point. Yeah, except for Camilla and I. So this is quite normal. But if we do fail to get some shots, don't worry. As usual on Camilla and I shall raid Alan's archive of excellent badger shots. Won't we? So so we will not fail. No.
You can always come back another night.
And we could always come back another night. Thanks, Alan. No. So what's the setup tonight then, Alan? On camera wise and flash wise?
Well, the cameras are yours, so I don't quite know what you've got. But
I'll do the camera bit. Okay, I'll do the cameras now. I'll do the cameras now. You do the flash, because on Camilla and I, as you know, we don't tend to do flash because it's a little bit of fill-in perhaps, but it's not really a forte. Obviously, it doesn't feature in an awful lot of wildlife photography because obviously normally you're trying to keep the image as natural as possible. But obviously with something like a badger nocturnal, we have to use flash on this instance. So somehow I've had to work out how to use flash on my on the Sony A9 II, which basically usual camera, and also I stuck the usual lens on it. I've got the 200 to 600mm lens, which we've just discussed already is probably a complete disaster because
a little bit too long, really.
It's a little bit too long. So I have been here before, but I completely forgot really how close Alan's got everything set up here. It's really good. So the 200 to 600, we probably would be better off with the 100 to 400. Well, undoubtedly be better off with 100 to 400. And indeed, Alan shot 70mm. I think you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
70mm. So you could have the standard 70 to 200 f2.8 type
or f4.
Or f4. Absolutely brilliant. And with a flash setup. So we've gone a bit long, Camilla and I, but anyway, you live and learn. And also on the film camera tonight, I've got the A7 III and using the 135mm new f1.8 lens, and that should be pretty amazing, but we will see. Anyway, so the flash setup tonight is
there's four Godox flashes, V862s. They're equivalent to the Canon 600 RTs or whatever they are, but a third of the price.
Third of the price. That's why we're using them, you know.
Yeah. And the beauty is of these, with the various transmitters, you can fire them with Canon, Nikon, Sony, Olympus, or whatever.
Yeah.
They make the transmitters for.
And Alan's got all three major brands.
Yeah, Sony, Nikon, and Canon.
Excellent.
And probably Olympus to come.
Olympus to come as well.
Possibly.
So there'll be no excuses not to catch your badgers in full spotlight.
That's right. The pool where we're photographing is lit by two floodlights, which are equivalent to 500 watts each. So it's fairly light anyway, but not light enough for stills, which is pretty good for the cine work.
Yeah. So we're accepting some great photos. So hopefully Alan will just explain the actual setup of how the badgers get to 4 foot in the air and pose looking into the water reflection in the eye, hopefully. Over to you, Alan.
Yes, the pool is about 4'6" off the ground, and that's the light one. And
all right.
yeah,
I thought it was an owl alarm. I thought it was the badger alarm.
No.
Oh damn! Right, okay, carry on. So
The pool is 4'6" off the ground.
Mm.
The main reason it was built was so that it was at the same level as the windows of the hide, so that you're all on the same level for the best reflection images.
Brilliant.
So
Yeah.
for the badgers to come up to the pool, there's a ramp at the back of the pool, which I just laced with a few peanuts, and then they sort of follow the trail up onto the end of the pool, where hopefully we'll get some photos of the badgers and their reflections.
Excellent. Yeah, yeah. So it's it's not set up at all.
No, not at all. No.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I think a lot of wildlife shots are.
We've been discussing this for a few days now, haven't we, really?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think on the whole now, folks, I hate to shatter people's total illusions on wildlife photography, but you know, the best shots that you see out there, the ones that have got the crystal backgrounds and beautiful bouquet, and there's a lovely bunch of flowers just by the bird that's sitting there.
Yeah.
They are, sorry to spoil it for you folks, but they are all set up, and to be honest, it's not taking anything away from the actual photographer.
No. You still got to know how to set it up in the first place. You know, it's
yeah, I mean, it's a bit like the processing, the developing process these days. Again, if you're an expert in Lightroom, you could put any background you want on a photo. Now that is cheating, as far as I'm concerned. I think that then goes a bit too far. But if you've actually set up the perch and the position and everything else for the bird to come in, for me, that's fair game.
yes, yeah.
I mean,
I get a lot of comments on my reflection images here, where the reflection's done in Photoshop. Like, be quite honest with you, I wouldn't know how to do it in Photoshop anyway, but
no, this is it. I mean, that's the lengths you can go to. It just demonstrates, you know, both Alan and myself. Don't know, I could just about do it, but I don't do it.
No.
There are the sort of levels of cheating, and that's certainly, you know, that's the trickery of Photoshop. And if you're amazingly good at Photoshop, then you know, you can produce anything.
Yeah.
So but no. So no, it's perfectly all right to you know, turn your back garden into a complete oasis for a menagerie or whatever. I mean, that's fine, and you know, but that is where the work is. I mean, Camilla and I just turned up today, and we're just nicking all Alan's hard work. You know, it's hours of production that goes into it's the set production, just like a good movie. You know, it's actually
it takes a bit of time and a bit of sorting out. But,
well, yeah, just a few hours. You know, just a few hours. You know, it's great.
Yeah.
I just roll up in my car. You know. Had to wheel the camera gear in there, didn't I? It was really hard work for Camilla and I, you know. So no, it's all down to Alan's hard work. I mean, at least it doesn't happen overnight. You have to, you know, feed the badger just for a year and a half. You know, I mean, that task
I've been
alone.
photographing it for a year
and a half. I mean, some people would have trouble feeding their pet, you know, for a year and a half, wouldn't they? So
it's every night without fail.
So
I think, you know, if you don't feed them, then they go away. Then it's going to be a job to get them back again.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's about £20 a week to feed the badgers and the birds.
Okay, so it's really hard work here. Alan's just making the coffee, so I thought I'll run through the camera settings, which I can't remember what was on now. We're on the flash, and let's have a quick look at the back of the camera. So we're on single spot, or expand flexible spot. No, single spot. We're on 200 millimeters, because I should have bought the 100 to 400, and we'd probably be on 100 millimeter now, but never mind. And we're on f9, 1/400th of a second, ISO 400, and we're using Alan's Godox, is it Godox? Flash system, 4 independent flashes which fire at the same time. So anyway, we'll see what we're getting, and that's the sort of image we're getting. So it's not something we do that often on Camilla and I, say flash. It's a bit of a wildlife no-no in some respects, but yeah, forced to in these circumstances. Obviously these badges are coming out. I've been promised an 8 o'clock showing, but you know, they could come out, of course, any old time. Could be now onwards, really. But yeah, so yeah, flash, bit unusual, but yeah, we'll go with it. And, over to the film camera. The film camera is the A7. We're on the A7 III, and we've got the 135, again 135mm, probably a bit tight to say the least, on the video tonight. So and we're at the reason why particularly I chose this lens was partly for the length mistake, but it was for obviously the 1.8 nature of the lens, so obviously lets in a lot more light, so hopefully we'll get a better video quality, which I think we will. I think it shows up very well on the back of the camera, so fingers crossed. I'll show you the back of the camera. So this is the video footage, A7 III, and 1/25th of a second shutter speed, and yeah, I think that's gonna, I think the video footage is probably going to be better than the stills.